Welcome to Module 1 of Here4U on Communication. In this unit, we will explore the ways one can learn and master the skill of communication. Human communication is a complex process that draws on cognitive and behavioral processes. Many of the skills and behavioral attitudes that are necessary for establishing communication between caregivers and elderly can be developed. Caregivers are not born with excellent communication skills. Instead, they can learn and master the theory of good caregiver-elder communication and practice these communication skills in their daily work. So, what's the recipe for great communication? There are specific skills that need to be present all the time for effective communication to be possible. Learn how to develop communication. Nonverbal skill is an integral aspect of overall communication skill. It could be described as the processes of conveying a type of information in a form of non-linguistic representations. Social interactions include a variety of non-verbal signals which color the message you're trying to convey. Often, non-verbal cues convey how a person is really feeling, or they can reflect if a person is being engaged in a conversation, or if he's getting emotionally involved. To be a competent communicator requires mastery of non-verbal streams of communication. Active listening is the act of fully hearing and comprehending of what someone is saying. Not being listened to is one of the major sources of speakers' dissatisfaction. This is happening because most people take listening for granted and tend to confuse listening with hearing. As a biologic function, hearing occurs naturally by the baby even before birth. Listening instead is a linguistic function. Words carry a linguistic message and thus they are open to interpretation. Their interpretation is related to the listener's moods, emotions, and life experience. Listening carefully doesn't just mean using your ears or hearing what the person is saying. It's about really being able to get a sense of what they're feeling. It's about being able to get a sense of what they're trying to express. This is a key part of being a good communicator. Listening is a vital communication skill for the caregiver, and the caregiver should do whatever is necessary to help elders feel that they're receiving attention throughout the day. The best way to understand what people are saying is to be present and listen to them attentively. In communication, concession means using the fewest words necessary to convey your ideas clearly to the people who listen. Otherwise, if you ramble on, your listener might be unsure of what exactly you want to say. Often, the most important part of communication can be the ability to grasp what is not specifically said or decode feelings and words. Although we have identified some of the behaviors that people display when experiencing or attempting to communicate various emotions to others, it is important to note that this does not necessarily mean that receivers recognize these cues or attribute the meaning intended by the sender. Consequently, to be non-verbally skilled in the area of emotional communication, one must also be skilled at accurately decoding others' emotions and be able to read between the lines and follow the speaker by watching for emotions and concerns that lie below the surface of the conversation. Stress can easily affect communication, clarity of opinion, and appropriate behavior and action. Feeling stressed during discussion may lead to misunderstandings. More precisely, a caregiver might send confusing nonverbal signals and use negative patterns of behavior. It is important to maintain a calm state of psychological mind. Especially when working with elders, it is important to keep a positive and calm attitude while interacting with them. It is always important to look at different perspectives when talking with someone. Other people's views might be different to your own. A good communicator should enter any conversation with a flexible mind. By being willing to enter into a dialogue, even with people with whom you disagree, you will be able to have more honest, productive conversations and a healthier communication. Think outside the box. Empathy, or the ability to understand the emotions of people and to treat them according to their emotional Reaction is at the heart of communication in caregiving. In order to understand the emotions of someone, you need to avoid imposing personal thoughts and conclusions, and always try to remember that human psychology is complex in its nature and that everyone has a unique perspective. Now, let's move on to the next video, where we're going to explore techniques for developing communication. See you there!